Hello, this is Michaela from the Spirit of Japan Tours. I am a travel guide, but I'm also a spiritual guide. So on the tours that I curate and offer, I always strive to create opportunities for my clients to experience Japan on a deeper level and get acquainted with the unique spirituality of this place. So the memories that they create are meaningful, enjoyable, and lasting. Towards that, I'm always on the lookout for places that carry the spirit in Japan in its purest form and in diluted form. Because, true, don't take me wrong, going to a big temple in the center of the city is definitely a great experience. They are awesome, amazing, the architecture and everything, but because of the huge amount of people that visit them daily, sometimes the experience that you get is not really that deep. However, little temples like the one that I would love to take you to today, they have kept, through the centuries of their existence, the energy that was originally, intended to be here. So spending probably 5-10 minutes in a place like this can give you a much deeper experience and knowledge about what Japan is about than probably spending days in the city. So with this said, let's go. And the place that we're visiting today is a little temple in Hino City, in the western suburbs of the metropolitan area. And the temple belongs to the esoteric Shingon sect. They're actually very well represented in this part of the country. This temple is like more than 1,000 years old. It's called Shinshoji, probably a name that you will not remember, but I hope that being in its garden is something that will stay as a memory. So here we go. We're going through the gates of the Shinshoji temple, a temple that is more than 1,000 years old, and it belongs to the esoteric Shingon sect of Buddhism. There are actually quite a few of them in the city of Hino, where we are now. So what is interesting is that, just take a look, like stepping through the gates is literally taking us into a very different world. And it's a world that holds so much of what is traditional, what is spiritual in this country. It's amazing that so much has been put in such a small space. And the energy here is something that I love. It brings something very special inside me. And I will share about that at the end because it's connected with something that I want to show you a little bit later. But before that, let us just see what other things we can observe here. So on our right is a little shrine that is dedicated to one of the 7 gods of good fortune, the god Ebisu, who is a bringer of good luck. So he looks a little bit like the laughing Buddha. He's always portrayed with this big belly and a big smile on his face, holding a big fish because he's also the protector of fishermen. I think that it wouldn't be bad to ask for a blessing. So, dear God Ebisu, please grant us good luck. Now, on our left side, what you can see here is a row of little statues, and in Japanese they're called jizos. Jizo is a bodhisattva, or a being who has postponed his enlightenment in order to stay here and to stay in our world and to guide us through our experiences. So there are 6 of them, and each one corresponds to one of the realms that according to Buddhism we can be incarnated in. And you start with the lowest one, hell. You still have a guide there if you find yourself in such a realm. and there are 5 others, and the 6th one is heaven. So I do not necessarily subscribe to such beliefs, but what is really interesting to me is that right before the realm of heaven is the human realm. It's the way of the human. So what that tells me is that through our human experience is how we can achieve heaven. So maybe in the next incarnation, I don't know, or maybe like some of us do, we can experience heaven while still in human form. I hope that this is our fate, and I hope that we all see this guy at some point of our eternal existence. So now we're going to walk through the garden, and it's so beautiful right now at this time of the year. I showed a picture to my husband the other day actually, and he said, "Oh, was this taken in the fall?" And he's Japanese, so I was very surprised, and I told him, "No, this is just the leaves of a red maple, and they're so vibrantly scarlet right now. As summer comes, then they would become a darker color, but right now they're just delightful." And then we have this bright green color of the new leaves of a plum tree. So if we look around, as you can see, the garden does not seem to be very planned or organized. However, this is not necessarily true, because Japanese gardens, they do not rely that much on landscaping. They rely more on the harmony between their elements and also on seasons to transform them. For example, the first thing that would bloom would be this plum tree, and it will bloom somewhere in February, and that will signal the beginning of spring. So little by little the garden will come to life. And here we have a camellia tree, so the camellias will start blooming, and then of course the maples will come back to life. And here we have a pine tree, as you can see. So it seems a little bit out of place. However, if you know Japanese traditions, you would also know that pine is the symbol of longevity. So the pine tree has its place. It symbolizes permanence, longevity, and it gives a very nice grounded energy to the place. So another thing that I want to take you to, so you can hear it. Can you hear the sound of running water? Is this little, I don't know how to call it. Would it be like a little fountain? And the sound of running water, the water itself, brings this sense of peace and fluidity in the ambience of the garden. What I would like to show you next is the main building of the temple, and also its altar. Here it is, and as you can see, it is quite opulent, and it's not something that you would necessarily see in a Zen temple. However, on every Buddhist altar, you will most likely see the lotus flowers that you see on the left side of this one. The big white flowers are lotuses, and the reason for that is that the lotuses are Buddha's flowers. There's a story that goes with it that says that when one day the Buddha was meditating under his Bodhi tree, he saw big beautiful lotuses growing out of a pond that had rather muddy waters. So as he looked at the flowers, he realized that just like those lotuses grew out of the dirty water to be beautiful flowers, so can each and every one of us achieve enlightenment, just like this person here probably did. He is the founder of the Shingon sect, and a person who has had a huge impact on the development and establishment of Buddhism in Japan. As you can see, he has a little bowl where he collects alms, and actually this was the way that apprentices in the past had to support themselves. They would go in the community and they would offer their services, and in exchange people will donate money. So the apprentices, they had to learn how to be of service, and at the same time people, they also had to learn how to give willingly. So the last thing that I want to show you before the object of the garden that really was the most impactful to me personally is this little temple here. This is probably the oldest one, and it is dedicated to the goddess of mercy, Kano. And most Japanese temples, they have altars for her. In this particular one, they have also a big statue that really, to me, enhances the gift and the energy of this place. So here she is, the goddess Kanon under the maple tree. And what I really love about her is her face. As you can see, there is a very gentle smile on her face, and also a great compassion, and not surprisingly, because she is the goddess of compassion as well. So to me, there is something very serene in her expression, and this is the gift of this place that I get. There's a great sense of serenity here, of peace, of everything is all right. So with this, I am going to draw our little trip to the Shinshoji temple to an end, and I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you enjoyed learning about Japanese traditions and experienced some of the magic of this garden as well. I wonder what that was for you, and if you share that in the message box, that would be wonderful. For now, I would like to say goodbye.